like all the new technology. First time I saw 360. This was the first time that I started to really realize how big of an asset it was to me compared to, you know, what I was using back home. What I was using back home was just a small 7-inch graph. I didn't have livescope or anything like that, or even really side imaging at the time. And the learning curve for the new technology is a lot shorter than a lot of people think nowadays. I mean, to learn, you know, going back thinking about not knowing anything in 2019 and now in 2023 or whatever it is, 3 or 4 years from now, the amount I've learned about this new technology and having these pros firsthand, watching them firsthand fish, you know, like a Cherokee Lake, a Florida, any of these other places, use it firsthand. I mean, there was multiple of them that would actually, I'd ask them, they'd bring me up on the front bow and show me, you know, what was going on in a tournament situation. I mean, there's not many people that would do that, really. I mean, when money's on the line and things like that. But so if you have the ambition to fish as a co, or if you're thinking about it, just do it, because your odds of getting somebody good are better than your odds of getting somebody that's not. I mean, you're going to learn from everybody, but your odds of getting somebody that you're going to end up liking fishing with is better than not. You know, I fished, what did I say, like 9 tournaments. 6 of them I had awesome people. Like 6 or 7 of the tournaments were absolutely awesome. I mean, outstanding people, wanted to teach me everything. You know, they didn't, whatever. They didn't say, oh, like, just sit in the back, like, do whatever you want. Like, they engaged, they gave me baits. The thing is, just ask. Don't be shy. Don't be like, he pulls up to a grass line and you don't have a chatterbait. Don't be shy. If he's catching them on a chatterbait, be like, hey man, like, do you mind, can I borrow a chatterbait to you? It's like, he's not, I mean, he might say no. What's the worst he's gonna say? No, I guess. I mean, that's the worst he's gonna say. But if you really think it's gonna help you in the long run, I mean, just ask him. That's the number one thing that I did when I was a co, and some of them actually came up front and gave me baits without me even asking. Like he was, for example, the co-angler event that I won on Lay Lake in December in 2020, my boater was crushing him on a small swim bait. I mean, he was absolutely crushing him, and I had no small swim baits. I didn't even really bring swim bait jig heads with me. And that, you know, that goes back to the preparation thing. If I would have had that, who knows what would have happened then. But he gave me 1 jig head and 1 swim bait, and I caught my biggest bass of the day the next 5 minutes later. I mean, small things like that go a long ways when you're fishing. And I learned from that situation too. It's not like you can't take that and use it somewhere else. I mean, situations like that where you're at home and you're fishing by yourself as a boater, and that same situation comes up where your co-angler's throwing something else, he doesn't have what you're throwing and you're catching him on it, give him the same stuff. Like, it's kind of all of a team effort when it comes down to it. I mean, you're trying to catch the biggest fish in the lake, you're trying to get the biggest fish fired up, and everything working together as one. And those are kind of just one small part of my co-angler experience. But going back to technology, I mean, man, I can't imagine where I would be without it, really, because the amount that I learned from it and then took it to the opens when I fished my first year on the opens as a boater and knew nothing about it prior, fished the opens, had it as an asset there, ultimately helping me qualify for the Elite Series. That short time learning it was huge. And honestly, without it, I don't know if I would have qualified. It wasn't even the aspect of catching fish on it. It was just the aspect of putting it in the water and seeing what was around me, seeing if there was bait, seeing if there was life in the area.